The not-so-unexpected news of Philip Rivers' retirement has social media swirling up the same conversation that happens every time a longtime quarterback retires. Is he going to make the Hall of Fame? In this situation, numbers tell one story, while history tells another. I'm Dave Kluge with Fantasy Intervention, and I'm here to discuss Philip Rivers' likelihood of making the Hall of Fame.
All right, who wants a shot? Quick shots.
Simply looking at the numbers, you would think that Phil Rivers is a lock for the Hall of Fame. 5th in yards, 5th in passes completed, 5th in passing touchdowns, 8th in wins, 10th in yards per attempt, 12th in passer rating, and 14th in completion percentage. On the surface, that appears enough simply to get into the Hall of Fame. But the glaring weakness is his lack of Super Bowl and playoff success. The Chargers always seemed to be ready for the big dance, but never quite made it. The Chargers team between 2006 and 2007 was loaded with talent. LaDainian Tomlinson, Darren Sproles, Michael Turner, and Lorenzo Neal were coming out of the backfield. A young Vincent Jackson was playing with an in-prime Antonio Gates, catching balls from Philip Rivers. Their defense was loaded with superstars like Sean Marion, Antonio Cromartie, Quentin Jammer, and even a young Eric Weddle. 2 years with that squad, and Phil Rivers was able to generate a 25-7 regular season record. But Phil Rivers was unable to get them through the AFC Championship game, and unfortunately, that's how his legacy is going to be remembered. In his final season as an NFL quarterback and first season with the Indianapolis Colts, we saw the same story. Philip Rivers was into the playoffs with an 11-5 record and lost the final game by just a few points. A tale as old as time and a fitting send-off for a quarterback who will consistently be measured by his shortcomings. The craziest thing, though, was this. It wasn't really a shock. It was practically expected by anybody that has watched Philip Rivers throughout his career. Rivers was a stat accumulator. He would rack up touchdowns and yards seemingly every single week, but never had the ability to make that deep push into the playoffs when it mattered. Rivers was known all around the league as a fierce competitor and a world-class shoot talker, but that never translated to playoff success. Overall, Philip Rivers has a regular season record of 421 wins and 209 losses. Of those 209 losses, 66 of them were within one score by the game's end, including this year's wildcard loss. The 66 one-score losses, guess what? That's another record by Philip Rivers, and one that people are probably going to remember above the rest. We often hear the argument in fantasy football of film versus analytics, and Philip Rivers is the perfect example of why both are needed to accurately evaluate a player. On the surface, Rivers has all of the stats accumulated over his 17-year career to justify a bust in the Hall of Fame, but his legacy is going to have a very different tone to it by those that remember watching him play. I don't expect to see Philip Rivers make the Hall of Fame. He'll be remembered for his great regular season record, his hilarious trash-talking banter, and his unfortunate ability to make a Super Bowl.
Golly. Shoot!
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube page. You can find me on Twitter at dkluge90, where we'll be bringing you more off-season quick shots. Drop a comment and let us know whether you think Phil Rivers is going to make it into the Hall of Fame or not. Thanks again.